Okay, ma. Next one, US Imperial Interest. Okay, at the dawn of the 20th century, the United States had occupied Cuba, Puerto Rico after defeating the Spanish in 1898. From 1898 to 1902, Cuba was under US military rule. When the Americans finally left, they retained a naval station in Cuba. Okay, ma. So, imperial interest. The US imperial interest means யூஎஸ்ஏயோட ஏகாதிபத்திய ஆர்வம். ஸோ அவங்களோட சுப்பீரியாரிட்டி அதில் இன்ட்ரெஸ்ட் எந்த லெவலில் இருக்குங்கிறத நம்ம பார்க்குறோம். ஓகேம்மா. At the dawn of the 20th century, the United States, so that time United States occupied Cuba and Puerto Rico. Okay, so USA defeat the Spanish after occupied Cuba and Puerto Rico. Okay, from 1898 to 1902, Cuba was under US military rule. Okay, so under the control of US military rule. So, and US occupied Cuba and Puerto Rico. Okay, from 1898 to 1902, Cuba was under US military rule. When the Americans finally left, they retained a naval station in Cuba. So that time when the Americans finally left, okay, they retained a naval station. So finally அதை விட்டு வெளியில் வந்து என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க, they retained and preserve a naval station in Cuba. ஸோ அதில் என்ன பண்ணியிருக்காங்கன்னு சொன்னால், இவங்களோட naval stations only have in Cuba. The US also retained its right to intervene in Cuban internal affairs. So, US, when the Americans finally left, they retained a naval station in Cuba. But USA also retained its right to intervene in Cuban internal affairs. So USA interfere in Cuban affairs. USA and also not came but interference in Cuban internal affairs. So Cuba oda internal affairs குள்ளேயும் USA including. Okay, President Theodore Roosevelt attitude, இவரோட attitude என்ன, Latin American countries was sum up in the words. இவரோட attitude நம்ம ஷார்ட்டாக சொல்கிறோம். என்ன அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், speak softly and carry a back stick. The Monroe Doctrine had barred Europeans' interference in the affairs of the American continent. Already you know that the Monroe Doctrine நம்ம பார்த்தோம். So Monroe, the president of the USA, came up with this famous Monroe Doctrine with the declared that if Europeans interfere anywhere in America, so Europeans interfere any places, so North America இருக்கலாம், South America இருக்கலாம், but Europeans and also interfere North America and South America, but the time would amount of waging a war against the USA. அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, அமெரிக்காவுக்குள்ளே என்ட்ரு ஆகிட்டனாலே அவங்க என்ன பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா, வார் அகெயின்ஸ்ட் த யுனைடெட் ஸ்டேட்ஸ். So Europeans very feared that time. So 1830, the whole of South America was free from European domination. Okay, so இதில் என்ன கொடுத்துருக்கு, the Monroe Doctrine had barred European interference in the affairs of the American continent. So Europeans very fearless that time. So South America and also free, and South America was free from European domination. Roosevelt made an important amendment. Roosevelt என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, this amendment means correction to the doctrine in 1904. Doctrine means you know that principle. Okay, so Roosevelt want change this principle. Okay, amendment means correction. Roosevelt made an important amendment to the doctrine in 1904. It authorized US intervention in Latin America. So US interfere in Latin America in order to maintain order. Okay, so this amendment on correction. So the correction, it authorized US intervention in Latin America in order to maintain order. So America affecting this amendment and also affect America. After affecting this amendment, the US became the dominant influence, not only political. This amendment use USA. Okay, so after affecting this amendment, US became the dominant influence. It's very wealthy, not only politically, economics, and also is very wealth. Okay, next one, emergence of middle class and working class. The independence movement facilitated. The independence, next one, emergence of middle class and working class. Okay ma, the independence movement facilitated transfer of political authority, but it engendered means bring about no social or economic change, with the masses excluded from the decision making process. Politics became the preserve of oligarchy families and military cliques. Okay, so independence movement helped transfer of political authority. Okay. Independent movement only helped transfer of political authority, but it engendered means bring about. Okay, so no change it. Okay, so this movement help, but the social and economically is not change it, with the masses excluded from the decision making process. So with the masses excluded from the decision making classes not equally, so middle class and families and working class and also create that time. Okay, so with the masses excluded from the decision making process, politics became the preserve oligarchy families and military cliques. And cliques means ஒரு குழுவா ஃபார்ம் ஆகிறாங்க. Okay, first oligarchy means a ruling class, a ruling families and forming that. Next one, military cliques and also forming military குழுக்களும் ஃபார்ம் ஆகுது. Okay, from the middle of the 19th century. So this one and this para we will seeing about. இந்த பேரால் நம்ம என்ன பார்க்குறோம் அப்படின்னு சொன்னால், மிடில் கிளாஸ் அண்ட் ஒர்க்கிங் கிளாஸ் அண்ட் ஆல்சோ மேட் ஆஃப் that time. Okay, oligarchy families and military cliques. From the middle of the 19th century, oligarchy republics based on alliance regional elites, and elites means a best part of society. Okay, so nalla high class families and farming that one place. Oligarchy means a ruling class family. Okay, oligarchy republics based on alliances of regional elites remains the best part of society. Okay, and regional elites begin to operate that time. Brazil remained and except until the monarch fell in 1818. Brazil only and forming monarchical form of government. Okay, with the political stability. So that time political very strongly and economical opportunity having that time. So the country received large number of peoples coming, and country received large number of migrants and peoples moving one place to another place. So large number of migrants from southern Europe இருந்து இந்த பிளேஸ்க்கு வராங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ எக்கனாமிக் வெரி ஸ்ட்ராங்லி அண்ட் எக்கனாமிக்கலி இஸ் வெரி பெஸ்ட். Economic growth, urbanization and industrial growth in countries like that, economically is very well developed. So all the places only changed urbanizations and industrials and also well developed. Okay, so in countries like Argentina, Chile, Brazil and Mexico help consolidate the hold of the middle class and the emergence of militant working class organizations, and also hold of the middle class and next forming that militant working class organizations and also forming that time. So at the same time, American power and very wealth came to dominate Central and South America. Okay, so இதில் வந்து என்ன ஆகுச்சுன்னா இஸ் வெரி மிடில் கிளாஸ் அண்ட் ஒர்க்கிங் கிளாஸ் families and also made of that time. Okay, so at the same time American power and also very wealth came to dominate Central and South America. So dominant means மேலாதிக்கம் பண்ணுது. ஓகே, ஸோ இதில் என்ன கொடுத்துருக்குன்னு சொன்னால் அமெரிக்கா அதோட அதிகாரத்துலேயும் செல்வத்துலேயும் பெஸ்ட் ஆகுது. நெக்ஸ்ட்டு சென்ட்ரல் அண்ட் சவுத் அமெரிக்கா, ஸோ அந்த பிளேஸில் அவங்களோட டாமினேஷன் பவர் இஸ் வெரி ஹை. ஓகே.